No, I got this Chewbacca onesie, except it's like 3 sizes too small. So I
Right.
just feel like a fat
I
Ewok.
think
The
all
arms
onesies
are
should be a little
short.
bit too small.
Yeah, it's
I have a onesie now. It's the first onesie I've ever had in my
Oh.
life. It's
Yeah.
a pajama onesie.
Mm,
Are
they're
all
great.
onesies pajama onesies? No.
think-
I own it because it is like pulling teeth to get my daughter to put on her pajamas. And the only way I can do it sometimes is to yell, "Pajama party!" And then all of us put on our matching pajamas.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
It works.
That's adorable.
See, that sounds fun. I'm actually buying a new onesie soon.
You going to wear a
One that-
onesie to PAX when we meet up in a couple of months down in
Maybe.
Melbourne?
Maybe. No, I'll probably wear I don't know, I might dress as Princess Leia, I might dress as Commander Sheridan. Who knows?
Or a hybrid.
Princess
I
Sheridan.
love hybrid cosplays, where they mix two characters together.
The problem is no one knows Babylon 5.
We have listeners who do.
We do.
That's the place people would know Babylon 5.
But when I was there last year and I was dressed up as in my Babylon 5 cosplay, people asked, "Oh, what are you?" And I went, "Oh, Babylon 5." And they thought remember there was that movie Babylon that just came out last year?
They thought you were in
And
the
they
fifth
thought-
sequel.
They thought I was in the Babylon movie. Except, no.
I was going to say, I think onesies are always pajamas unless you're a furry, in which case they're lingerie.
Lingerie that you don't take off.
I also learned when we were at Sundance and we were watching that furries documentary, Love Me, Love My Fur, or whatever it was called, that you don't have to dress up to be a furry.
You just
A
have
lot
to
of them do.
You just have to fuck someone.
You just have to identify as... No. They made it clear you also don't have to fuck
I know.
any animals to be a Furby too. But you can identify... Apparently there's this cockroach who's quite prominent in the furry scene. But he's never dressed up as a cockroach. He just identifies as
I
one.
was going to say, there's this cockroach who shows up at these conventions. I thought you were going to say something about some horrible man.
Are furries
cockroach.
really still a thing? I feel that...
No, they are.
I don't know, it used to be, I'd hear a lot more about them like years ago, but now when you think it'd be more...
I don't think there were more or less. I just think that when we heard about it, we went, what?
What?
And
Yeah.
we wanted to hear a lot more about it.
Well, there was a
And now
post
it's
on
just like,
there was a post on Reddit fairly recently where this girl said, "I don't know what to do. My boyfriend told me he's a furry, not a Furby."
I kept going to say Furby every
Yeah.
time I said it.
I opened the cabinet and he went, "Wow, all right." A furry, and
I skin furries.
and he wanted me to come to a convention with him, and so she went to this convention, and then he kept saying, "It's not a sex thing. It's not, it's not." But she said she went to this convention, and it was very sexual. Like all the artwork for sale, all the people walking each other around on collars and stuff like that. And he was like, "See?" And she was like, "Yeah,
See what?
I do see." And I'm not sure what to make of it, to be honest.
Wow.
Not everybody, but it is a thing.
Yeah.
Question, how do they keep their suits clean?
I don't want to know.
Like, that's the thing that it's always...
Neither of you watched Entourage, right?
No.
No.
You really should. Entourage was great. Somebody
Probably should.
the other day said it was 20 years old, and I was like, fucking what? Because to me, it's the most up-to-date show ever. But,
Neil Gaiman
it's
tried to put his finger inside of it recently.
Stay tuned to the after party. Not just recently. They dug up a person from 40 years ago who literally said he tried to kiss me, and they went, "What did you do?" She said, "I said I didn't want to be kissed." And they said, "What did he do?" She said, "Well, he left, and then we were friends for 40 years." And I asked, "Why are you on this podcast?"
Yeah.
But anyway, in Entourage, Turtle meets a woman online, and this is before online dating is a thing. So in the episode, it's like a big deal.
You gotta go meet a dude.
Well, that's kind of, there was a joke about that too,
Yeah.
but no, it was a beautiful woman, but he had to pick up something for her from the dry cleaners, and it was
A fursuit.
it was a furry outfit. Yeah,
Well, speaking of something that sort of ended 20 years ago, Battlestar Galactica.
Thankfully, it did end 20 years ago.
Wait.
After all,
That was not 20 years ago.
Well, no, it
didn't
started
end
20 years
It
ago.
started 20 years ago. It's 2001 or 2002.
Even that's fucking terrifying. There's only 4
It
seasons
ended
of it.
16 years ago. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, remember, we've been talking about it off and on. There's about the Battlestar Galactica reboot that was evidently meant to be happening.
The reboot of the
And-
reboot.
And it's finally been cancelled. Which,
Good.
it's a good thing, but I was kind of also looking forward to it.
I would have checked it out. But mate, think of the other shows that are on TV right now. It would have been like them, not like Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
But I was sort of liking the way they said they were going to release the episodes. Like, it wasn't going to be quite weekly. It'll be like if we've got like 3 episodes that sort of are a
they
tight
feel
story,
like
they'll
it.
come out together.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a good
It's like
plan
how we
to
used
me.
to do
I
this
don't-
podcast back at the beginning. Just
The
The thing about Battlestar
do
is
Caprica.
Caprica
they
was
did
good.
it. It's called Caprica.
Yeah,
It exists. Go get the DVD and find a way to play a DVD.
but as Matt knows, you get to the last episode, you watch the coming next season, and it looks like all this cool stuff,
Yeah, cancelled.
and nothing.
Real
what was the
bummer.
other spin-off they did? There was 2 spin-offs, right?
Wasn't it? They did a movie,
there another
Blood and Sand or something, which is like a prequel movie. It's about
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
yeah, it's about when he Admiral Adama is a pilot, and he's young.
That's it.
But yeah, they didn't get him to play himself
Who
because
plays him? They
Just
just,
a young
do it now.
kid.
They just de-age him. That way
Yeah.
they should have just gotten Lee to play him, but had the mustache.
Well, no, because this was 20 years ago, so you don't have the aging technology.
The thing about BSG that was amazing, other than the fact that it was the best science fiction television writing that I'd ever fucking witnessed, but that when I heard they were going to do a BSG reboot, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
No way that's going to be good.
Yeah,
like,
why bother?
I can happily watch an old episode of Battlestar Galactica from the 70s and laugh at it in the same way as, you know, any sci-fi from that era. But
But
to
only
tell
the
me that we're
first
going to
season.
like, well, yeah, but even just if they said no, you're going to deeply care about these characters, and you're going to be, you know, you're going to see characters you love die. You're going to see characters you love betray other characters you love. You're going to see characters you love get raped. I'd be like, are we still talking about Battlestar Galactica?
Such a great show.
Yeah, super good.
And I didn't watch it. I watched it again a few years ago. It doesn't. The ending's not the strongest.
No, it's not the strongest. I didn't hate it as much as everyone else did at the time, but
No.
yeah, it is. It is what it is.
I didn't either, but anytime I picture myself rewatching it, I picture myself stopping after about season 4, I think. Even season 3, maybe. Season 4 had great episodes, but I think they'd run out of juice by then.
Yeah, when they, yeah.
Once
Guess Earth at the
Lee
end.
was no longer a pilot, he was a lawyer. I was like, you're reaching now.
Yeah, that got a bit weird. But I did read something interesting about it last week. You know the episode, I think it's called 33, where there's very early on where they're constantly having to jump every 33 minutes because they're being chased and everyone's super tired.
Yeah.
A lot of the actors went deprived themselves of sleep so they could sort of be
Oh,
sort of
That's
give
right.
that
tired.
little which I thought was pretty neat, cool.
Yeah, that's great.
they didn't want
That's
to try
like
acting.
Yeah. Nolan's kind of first mainstream film, The Insomnia. I think
Oh,
it was
yeah.
something along that line with Pacino as well, because he was like, okay, tomorrow you need to be like 3 days-ish without sleep. But then the scenes we're filming the day after, you're only 1 day without sleep.
That'd be annoying.
Because you film out of
Yeah.
order.
Yeah, but how would you... That would be hard.
Because how are you going to sleep? Not sleep for 3 days and then
not sleep for 1 day.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying he had to act like he was.
No, I
not
know,
he had to
I know.
actually have...
I know. It's a failed attempt at a gag.
There's some... No, I was just building on your gag. There's some other great series with just okay ending news this week. Matt, do you want to talk about Dexter?
Oh, yeah, this is weird. So there's been a bunch of weird stuff at Comic-Con. I'm sure we'll get to the biggest story
Hey,
at some
before we
point.
go on any further, did everyone's audio just do something weird, or is it just my earphones?
Just yours.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Okay. I'm sure it's fine. I'm on a different computer today for reasons I don't have to get into.
I'm legally not allowed to explain why.
I think that's probably true. But also, just a little note to both of you and the listeners that I'm sure you already know and do. Just back up your work.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
You say, of
do
course. And yeah, I think I might have just lost 30,000 words of a novel I was writing.
That. Oh no, that's not good.
I've decided not to be angry about it because I literally just don't have the emotional bandwidth to be upset about it. So I'm just going to not care.
Yeah, I have a lot of backup stuff ever since I lost a lot of photos. At
Well,
one
that
point.
sucks.
Speaking of stuff that's probably going to suck, Dexter's
Any woman in Neil Gaiman's life. Sorry, I'm doing it again.
Dexter's coming back again. And so I knew they were doing this prequel series, but also apparently Michael C. Hall turned up at Comic-Con and they announced that they're doing another sequel to the last sequel series they did. But did you watch that?
No, I didn't because it ended. The show ended.
Yeah.
And I stopped watching.
So
They tried to then cash in and I didn't care.
it was all right. I didn't mind it. It had Clancy Brown in it, which is, always good.
Okay.
But
Not
I mean,
always.
spoilers.
I see your Dexter and I raise you Ahsoka.
Yeah, good point. But he was in it as Dexter, and sorry for the spoilers, but he fucking dies. So I'm very.
How do you
confused.
make a sequel to that with him?
Well, there's a
coming
hint in the
back?
name. It's called Dexter Resurrection. So, I mean, they obviously know that this is a concern because they've named it that.
Yes.
And I guess we'll find
Dexter,
out.
trust us on this one.
Yeah.
So,
Turns
how
out
did he
missed.
die? Sorry, spoilers, but was
Yeah,
it
you want me to
a definite
actually
die, or
want me
is
to
they
spoil
going
it?
to be able
From
to?
years ago. Oh, mate, I don't give a shit. I watched him swim out into the ocean. That was meant to be the end of it.
Takes a fucking shotgun blast to the chest.
Okay, so it's not going to be like an easy for this is how he managed to escape
No.
or anything.
I'm pretty
There's
sure
a twist
dead.
in Kill Bill where she gets shot with a shotgun to the chest and finds out it was salt instead of buckshot or something.
Oh.
Am I remembering that wrong?
That sounds
I think you
familiar.
could put anything in a shotgun, so they could
Yeah.
reasonably argue.
Okay, well, we'll wait and see. That's also that's not the only weird thing from Comic Con either.
No, it's not even the weirdest.
No.
Well, hold on. Before we move on, just on Dexter, I loved Dexter. Dexter season 1 was excellent.
Yeah.
Season 2 was even better.
Yep.
Then season 3 was somehow even better. And it rode basically on whoever the co-star was as the looming either best friend or bad guy or both.
Yeah. I think season
I felt
4
that last
was
season-
the best. With
Was that
John
Miguel
Lithgow.
Prado? Oh, John Lithgow, yeah.
Yeah,
that
Miguel Prado
excellent.
was in the third season. Season
was
4
number
was
3,
Trinity of John Lithgow.
That's right. John Lithgow and Tom Hanks's son, right?
I think that was
Tom
the season after
Oh, fuck.
with
Okay.
him and Edward James Olmos as well.
Oh, yeah. You're right. How many seasons were there? Just 5?
7.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay.
I think-
So 5, I think, was where I mentally tuned out. I watched it all.
Julia Stiles was in the last one. And what's her name?
Oh, yeah.
Miranda from Mass Effect. The Aussie. She's in
Oh.
one.
Yvonne Strahovski.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
in one season too.
There was 8 seasons.
That's
8 seasons. Does that include the revival though?
No,
No, yeah. Oh, really?
no.
There you go.
Which
Season 8 came out
season
in
did he
2013.
get married to Julie Benz and have a baby?
Like 2. He didn't have the baby. She already had the baby, I think. Oh no, no. Harrison is his kid, right?
Fuck, I don't even remember.
Yeah, no. They did have a kid.
Maybe time for a rewatch.
No. That's the great thing about Dexter. I loved it and I don't need to watch it again.
You've seen it.
I've seen it.
Oh no, he does have a because Trinity kills her and she's in the bathtub and Harrison is there covered in blood and he's like, oh, great, he's going to be like me. I think that's what happens. But yes, not the strangest news to come out of Comic-Con.
No.
The big one.
Which
The sex trafficking ring.
That was interesting. That's
The
not what I
what?
meant.
Apparently that was a little bit of a storm in a teacup, though.
Luke didn't even know about that.
no. I
12
need to
people
know.
apparently were arrested at Comic-Con for sex trafficking. At least that's what the headline said. But then I did have somebody clarify later that said, no, it was an online scam to like hey, big boy, come and give me some money and we'll meet up at Comic-Con, as opposed to actual people. So sex trafficking without any actual human beings involved, which is very
it's not really-
different.
well, I don't want to even call that sex trafficking.
It was
if
a
it's,
scam.
The media would.
Was that really what it was? That's interesting. Because I
mean, look, I
didn't-
don't know the full story, so I had it bookmarked, and then when I found out it wasn't what I thought it was, I took it out.
lost interest.
I lost interest. Yeah, unless actual real people are being abused, I don't care.
But no, that wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about so they've had to sort of make adjustments for the Avengers movies coming out because some guy is a jerk, and we've got news about him.
Yeah.
But they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as the bad guy,
Yeah.
and
Not
I don't
as
know-
Tony Stark.
no,
I was about to say that would be the question. Like, Tony Stark is still alive, but now he turned evil.
No.
Currently.
Dr. Doom.
Now, I guess the question on everybody's lips is, will he be in blackface for this?
He's done it before.
he has
He's done it, but precedent has been set.
I am going to say one thing though. When he did come out and it was announced, he did do sort of the Iron Man sort of pose.
I
so
think that's the
it's-
I am Robert Downey Jr. pose, though. I think
I
we
am
now
Robert Downey
realise-
Jr.
I am Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, but I think that's also. So I don't know if maybe this is sort of they're trying to trick us as well. Maybe I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
It's possible.
How are they going to trick us? He's fucking dead. And if he's not dead, I mean, do you know?
You mean trick us that it is actually Tony Stark?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant trick it that we would never cast Robert Downey Jr. in this role.
No. I think it trick like he's not actually going to be Doctor Doom. That's sort of like the red herring. He's actually because he can come back as Tony Stark.
Have they recast? If they have, there's been plenty of recasts so far.
Yeah, they replaced that scientist with Don Cheadle. That's a Terrence Howard joke.
The less said about Terrence Howard, the better. Except that I fucking loved Terrence Howard in that role. I thought he was
I
excellent.
loved him in that. I loved him in The Prisoners, the Denis Villeneuve movie with
He was good.
Hugh
He just
Jackman. He's just also
wanted too
fucking
much
nuts.
money.
Anyway,
yeah.
Well, yeah, but didn't they? He said they screwed him over. He said that when they came to do the next movie, they said we're going to pay you less because Robert Downey Jr. wants more.
Sure.
We don't give a shit about you. And he was
Yeah,
like,
that-
"Fuck off."
I just meant in
that's-
relation to his recent Joe Rogan stuff. Do you know about that?
Yeah,
That's what I
I
meant
saw parts of that, and
Yeah. He's just a bit nutso.
yeah.
But I've had to stop caring if actors I like are nuts in real life because
Yeah.
otherwise I'd hate them all.
Or authors, huh, Danny?
But I don't. We'll wait and see if
I'll still
what
read his
happens.
books. I just don't want his finger in me.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I was so baffled by this. I saw the video of him whipping off the Doctor Doom mask, and it was Robert Downey Jr., and you could tell the crowd's a bit like, what?
Yeah.
And then they had to explain, he's...
How does that work?
huh? And they said he's not playing Tony Stark, he's playing Victor Von Doom.
Mm-hmm.
A different character.
So,
And it's unclear, is like, because people said, there's like precedent for like, parallel universe variants of people or some weird thing like that. But then everyone's like, yeah, but that's kind of a cheat, isn't it? And then also, the other thing I read is, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read somewhere that he's been paid $80 million to do this.
wow.
That's fucking insane.
Well, here's the thing I sort of find quite funny about it. Like, he's been making a fortune in all of these Avengers movies, but it's not like they're having to throw money to get him to come back because he loves doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he gets getting paid so much more than everyone else. It's not like please, we need you.
Well, maybe they feel like they do at this point, because I don't think the recent ones have done very well, have they?
No, I think after
There's
Endgame,
ones I've never even heard about that I see coming.
Yeah, I
straight
don't-
to, and
I
I'm
don't
like,
care
wow,
anymore.
I don't even know about
yeah,
that.
I just
I think
Endgame
a lot of people
finished,
just lost interest after Endgame,
Like-
yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder was okay.
Yeah, it was alright. I liked it.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't mind it, but it's not.
Again,
the drawl.
same. Yeah, same.
I still haven't seen it.
3's good. You should watch Guardians of 3. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I didn't watch it because I didn't think it was going to be good. I just stopped paying attention to them.
And I think that's what it is. And I think that's why they're sort of going back to let's bring...
They lost momentum. Yeah, there must have literally been a meeting where they were like, what is the one thing?
What are we missing?
Let me cast your mind back to 2008 or wherever it was, thereabouts. When Iron Man came out and you were like, Iron Man? Okay, yeah, I think I remember Iron Man from some
Iron Man was in the back of my Transformers comics when I was a kid. I was like, oh, yeah, that guy. Right? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. And then we watched that movie and we were like, holy shit.
That was fucking sick.
Robert Downey Jr.'s out of prison.
Yeah.
And he's at his absolute best.
Yeah. It was incredible.
Look, I think
at the end when he's like, I am Iron Man, you're like, give me 12 more, please.
And then bring him back as someone else.
Yeah.
I also don't think it's just him, though. I think that's might be what they're thinking. But also, if you look, like, all of the big actors that were in it, they're all finishing. They're all handing over the torch. They're all... So...
Yeah. Well, I look forward to next year when they announce Chris Evans as Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm. Look, honestly, I think what they should have done was had Endgame, end the story, start again.
Yeah.
Just have someone else beat us. Come in,
just
new actors.
Remake Iron Man shot for shot with a different actor.
But just go like
with still Robert
Terrence Howard.
You went Terrence Howard, yeah.
But no, just pick
with
another
Terrence Howard
story.
as Iron Man.
Yes.
Instead of trying to lead everything into the next story, just start from the scratch and build up like they did before. I think it's...
I get what they were going for, though, because you know what it started being like, well, the Avengers will just solve every one of the world's problems. Okay, so where do you go from there? Okay, well, you've got fucking Captain Marvel, who is more powerful than the entire Avengers combined, but she's fucking busy with shit you don't even know about on the other side of the galaxy. Okay, that's interesting, potentially. Also, do you know there's been fucking Avenger-like creatures around since fucking the dawn of mankind? Okay, so let's do Eternals. That also sounds like it could be really interesting. The problem was they didn't make very good movies.
You just reminded me of this, that yes, Captain Marvel doing stuff around the universe would potentially be interesting. Why have they not done that? Why was the second Captain Marvel movie about Earth shit?
Yeah, I don't know. I tell you why. It's because the second Thor movie, which didn't feature Earth at all, was the worst one, and so they were like, it's got to be on Earth.
I didn't dislike that one as much. It was on Earth.
No, I loved it. I fucking loved it.
But then, like going into the galaxy work, that's also on Earth.
None of that's on Earth. Well, the opening scene.
Yeah, but he's still got a Walkman, and you can put pop songs in there.
Yeah,
so maybe that doesn't count.
It's mostly about stuff that happened on Earth.
I didn't hate the Captain Marvel movie.
No, I didn't.
I didn't hate it.
No.
It was fine.
Yeah. Perfectly fine.
I like the ninja shirt.
Yeah, it was some good 90s stuff.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. Like with Ant-Man, his movies are terrible, but then in the Avengers, he's one of the best characters.
Yeah,
he is the best character in both those movies that he's in. He's so good.
But in his movie, I don't know. They just write him so bad there.
I think he's a good psych. He's a good comic relief character. He's not a leading man. He looks like a leading man, which is why he's a good comic relief character.
Yeah.
Oh, when he got big in Civil War, fucking hell, that was sick. And
so good.
They didn't put that in one of his own movies. They waited till he was like a side character to do that. Like, so funny.
Yeah. Well, because I saw Ant-Man first, and I was like, this is garbage. But I know I think either one or both of you had seen Civil War first. And were like, Ant-Man's
I went back and watched
it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I hadn't seen the Ant-Man movie. I'd just seen him, his psychic character. And
well, look, speaking
I was thinking, this is unrelated, but I was just thinking about sequels that I saw out of order. I saw Predator 2 when it came out as a new release on VHS, right? So, way too young to see it. I was 10.
Wasn't there full frontal nudity in that?
Yeah, not only was there full frontal nudity and sex,
not Gary
but those
Busey,
people
right?
got their fucking spines ripped out.
Yeah.
And they got fucking flayed up on the ceiling. Like, way too... I didn't watch it
at the start of the movie.
Towards the start, yeah. But I saw that before I saw Predator, which is a better movie in almost every way, except you can't convince me Predator 2 is not a great movie because I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
But there's this one bit where Danny Glover says to, I think, Gary Busey, go fuck yourself. And like now, I know that's an idiom. That's just something people say. At the time, I'd never heard anyone say that before. And I was like, that's a great line. Whoever came up with that line. Like what's he asking Gary Busey to do exactly? And I was trying to think of like intellectualize why you would tell someone to go and fuck themselves.
Yeah, you were far too young for that movie. If you were
one of the
thinking that.
If that's what I took away from it, yeah.
One of the Wishmaster films. You've seen the Wishmaster? There's one of them where someone says, he grants people's wishes. He's an evil genie.
An evil genie.
And he's like, make a wish. And one of the, can't even remember the scenario, but one of the, because like, what do you want? And he's like, I wish this guy would go fuck himself. And then the guy's body like twists around. He's like, oh. It's fucking insane. Ridiculous.
Great.
No, you want to know what?
I mentioned Inside Number 9 last week, the like anthology horror comedy. Season 1 was hit and miss. Seasons 2 and 3 have not been hit and miss. They've either been hit or fucking excellent hit.
Yeah, right.
Very good. But there's this one set in the Salem witch trials, and it's really quite good. But there's the pear, which is this metal thing, and you turn it and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh yeah.
There's this one part where the
Neil Gaiman loves them.
Yeah, well, so does this guy, because he's like, we put this inside them, and it gets bigger and bigger until they're at the point of, and this one guy goes, ecstasy? Like, no, agony. He's like, oh, right.
That makes more sense. Speaking of Marvel stuff,
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., Doctor Doom, presumably going to be replacing Kang, aka Jonathan Majors. However, Jonathan Majors has said, if fans want, and obviously if Marvel will allow him, he would be willing to come back. And
Jonathan, I have a message for you. Fans don't want you. Disney don't want you. Go away.
Even because he's the bad guy, right? Even if there's a scene where Kang is like beating up his girlfriend, they still wouldn't pick you, right?
We need a method actor.
Because that's acting.
Yeah.
You hurt women in real life, and nobody likes that.
No.
And think you're a role model for people.
Was it Malcolm X? He was.
I think Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King, yeah.
You thought he was,
yeah.
We
Do you remember that time when Martin Luther King bashed his girlfriend? Oh, no.
That's right. That
I don't
happen.
either.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
and
of
got
Jonathan
fired by
Majors.
Disney? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But of course he would be saying that because he screwed himself out of a pretty great job with a great paycheck.
True.
Several. He lost every other thing he was doing. And the thing is, I actually really liked him.
Yeah, he was good in
and in other things.
Lovecraft
Country. He was excellent.
Lovecraft Country was so
like I was
good.
like, this guy's going places.
Yep. And he could have been, except he's a jerk.
Am I allowed to watch Lovecraft Country again? Because I watched that before he was abusive to women. So I can watch that again?
Also, it's actually quite empowering to women, particularly women of colour. So I think you're probably good. And you probably hated being in that movie, to be honest.
The show. Sorry, I didn't know what you meant for a sec. Yeah.
No, what it is you can watch, if stuff like this comes out, I think there's no issue with watching the stuff that's there, but you can't support new ventures that they do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fair.
Because it's also not just
and
them
it's also
that
an
worked
ensemble.
on that.
Yeah.
Like, it's hundreds of people who worked on it, and you can't really say it's now horrible because of that one. It's you just can't. They shouldn't get any new work coming out of that you watch.
Oh yeah, because it's him and it's that girl in it. It's the girl. She's the sister of the guy who lied about getting beaten up. Remember?
Smothers, right? It's called
Smolay or whatever his name is.
Smolday. Yeah. She's beautiful. Watch her do anything.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like we can't like we shouldn't be able to watch Buffy or things like it's
fuck that.
No, exactly.
That's what I say when I watch Buffy.
Fuck that.
One more piece of Marvel news.
But only if I was its boss.
Yours and my hero, no doubt, Harrison Ford, is in Marvel now. He's replaced what's his name?
Harrison Ford surprises me.
Hurt?
Oh, is that who it was? Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. But
in this one, he plays William Hurt's character, and he gets, I guess, he becomes Red Hulk.
Oh.
And they asked him about Thaddeus Ross is the character, and they asked him about it, and they said, what was the motion capture process like? And he said, what did it take? It took not caring. It took being an idiot for money, which I've done before.
Yeah. The thing I love about Harrison Ford is we obviously love him in his sci-fi and adventure roles. Like that's what we mostly
I love him in everything. He's great.
But he also does, president and guy whose wife goes missing, etc., etc. But anytime he starts implying
When he gets shot in the head
that
and
he
forgets
wants
who
to
he is.
only do those kind of movies, then suddenly, boom, cowboys and aliens. And it's like, what?
How did that
How
happen?
did they convince you to do
That's
this?
right.
Take my fucking money.
We watched that in America.
We did, yeah.
I don't know. Every now and again, I think he's just like getting ready to just, I'm done, I'm out. And then, no, I'm coming back as Red Hulk. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot wait for this. I'm sorry, I cannot wait.
I'll watch
Like-
Captain America 4 just to see this.
they're starting, like, with Robert Downey Jr. and this, they are starting to bring us back in, I think. But
Yeah.
we still got to see the movies first.
We're skeptical, but
Yes.
intrigued. Yeah.
Like, I still
Yeah,
haven't even
maybe
gone
this is
seen
marketing
Deadpool
genius.
and Wolverine yet. And I want to see
Oh,
that.
yeah, I really want to see that.
It's on.
I've-
Is it
I've seen
Tortuga?
spoilers
Well,
everywhere, which
so-
I guess, given the nature of stuff that's in this, I guess it was inevitable because
haven't
the
really
things
noticed
I'm
any spoilers.
seeing, I'm like, how the fuck do we not know this already?
Right. Do they fuck?
No, it's about who's in it, basically.
There's a lot of people in
There's
it.
a lot of people
And then
in
some
lot
it.
of
surprising...
X-Men are in it, in other words.
And then
Lots
some
of
people who are
people are in
surprisingly
this.
missing.
Fuck, I might watch this later.
Yeah, I think I might go
Today.
to do that today.
Yeah, I would
All
like
right,
to
let's
watch
keep talking. I want to go watch it.
it. All right, I've been watching a TV show.
Well, somebody watched something else that I have seen and loved.
It's a TV show?
Mm.
Yeah, we know Luke's not going to watch this, so I guess you're assuming it's me.
Yeah.
I've been
Although
watching...
I think he'd like it.
He might. I've seen all but one episode now, the final episode to go, of The Night Manager, which is a British television series. Won a lot of Golden Globes, apparently.
Yeah, it's a few years old now.
Yeah,
I was in Singapore
2016.
still when I watched this. Yeah.
And then, we finished The Boys, season 4,
Oh, yeah.
and they just
How
kind of
was
was...
that? Because I was a bit bored of season
Yeah, it's
4.
fine.
And I'm trying to get myself to keep watching.
Yeah, it was all right. Not didn't blow me away.
Also, I won't talk about it because I only watched the first episode, but I watched the first episode of Jupiter's Legacy, which is that one I mentioned the other day when I said, wasn't there another superhero show that came out around the same time?
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. So it's basically, it's kind of like Watchmen in that it's the old generation of superheroes, but now they've got kids with superpowers, but they don't have those kind of 1950s American values that their parents had.
Right.
Kind of interesting. Doesn't look like it's going to delve a lot very deep, but
Ah,
I'll keep watching it.
It was Night Manager. It came up on Prime, and we were like, "Oh, it's got what's his name, Tom Hiddleston and Hugh Laurie in it." Rebecca Debicki. Is that how you were saying
Yeah.
her name? Yeah, like basically a bunch of people that I was like, "Ooh, I like all those people."
Elizabeth Debicki,
Elizabeth Debicki, and Olivia
Common.
Yeah,
Newton-John.
Olivia Newton-John. No, Olivia Colman. It's just the cast is fantastic. So I was like, oh, interesting. And then when we first put it on, I was like, oh, I don't know, because it's like this uprising in Egypt, and he's a hotel manager. And I was like, oh, it's not. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be for me. It seems a bit dry, but then it gets. It basically just fucking goes like
Stops
this.
being
Like
about
after the at the end of the first episode, I was like, oh, okay. And then second episode on, it's just fucking fantastic. Like.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
Very
I
compelling.
have heard talks that there is a script for a second season.
Oh, interesting.
But that just never came about, and I assume it's because of all the famous people it needs to
Yeah,
get back at
so
the
many
same
people
time.
in there.
I actually really like, not a famous dude, but he's in other things. That guy who plays Hugh Laurie's like little offsider.
Yeah,
who,
he's
like,
in
does his-
Pirates of the
all his dirty
Caribbean.
work. Yeah, and he's also in a great show called Taboo with Tom Hardy in the lead, which is
Oh.
fucking great, which you should watch.
He's such a good scumbag in this, in The Night Manager. He's just a little fuckwit.
He is just a little cunt,
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah. Just a
Yeah.
dickhead.
But that's why he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Beckett in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's in my favorite scene in that whole series of movies, which is when
which scene?
when the two ships. It's in the last movie, which is I guess arguably the weakest of the movies.
the best movie of them all.
Sorry, the third movie I should say, not the last, because there's
the
more
one with
after that.
the crabs.
Yes,
Crab movie.
the third one, World's End, and then at the very end of it, the two ships come along either side, and they all fire the cannons, and then there's just a shot where the fucking score comes up, and he's walking down the stairs as the cannonballs rip the ship apart around him. It's just great.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that. I remember seeing that at the movies, and that moment was just sick.
Loved it. I've got to go back to Disneyland.
Yeah, it's just so good.
Speaking of cannons shooting at ships, I tried a second time to watch Napoleon this week because I tried to watch it and it was incredibly boring. And I got maybe 30 minutes in and I was like, I can't do this. And then I was like, no, it's Ridley Scott. Trust him. Just watch it. Just fucking force yourself to watch it. I watched an hour and a half. Turned it off. When I realised there was still an hour and a half to go. Because I was like, no way I can watch this much again. Not only is it boring. Thank you. Not only is it boring, my underwear's just arrived. But
please put it on.
Also, no, Matt, you're the odd one out here.
Fine.
But I think Joaquin Phoenix, who I love in just about everything else he does, is just fucking rubbish in this. He was just completely miscast for it.
Do we talk about? Who's the guy from?
Take your time, Dal. I wear a different pair of socks every day, like most people do.
2 days worth of socks.
Who's the guy from? Brian Cox. Brian Cox?
I love Brian Cox. Hey, I'm all plugged in, Dal.
I'm sorry.
I love Brian Cox. Go ahead.
He from what's that show?
Succession.
That's the one. I'm just making sure it's the right man I'm thinking of. He did an interview.
And the original Hannibal Lecter in Michael Mann's Manhunter from the 80s.
Is he?
And if you haven't seen that, watch it.
Well, he said of Napoleon, Joaquin Phoenix had no right to be that awful in that movie.
Yeah, he's right. That's kind of...
Because, he's played some great characters. And
mate, the nuance he did brought to Joker, it's nothing. And I get it. I think the point is Napoleon, this guy who's like conquers Europe, is actually a little bit of a sniveling little cunt. You know what I mean? Like, and like his wife's fucking a bunch of other people, and he's feeling really insecure, and so he's going off and doing that. I get that they wanted to do that, but unless you cast somebody super charming, it's just not going to work.
Sure.
Because the whole time
he's
you're like,
charming.
Not in this. Not in this.
He could charm me.
No.
A little Ewok.
Not Napoleon.
You join La Grande Armée, you'd be like, yeah, fuck it. What am I doing?
Speaking of war, I was on the treadmill the other day. I ran out of stuff to watch. I finished Reacher. Did I say that last week? No, I finished season 2 of it. 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
I watched them all. Yeah, it's fine.
Good treadmill show.
The World at War, because it's just one of my favorite classic
series.
Yeah, and the first episode, I always forget how incredible it is, just for the fact that it was made in the 70s, so they just had these people to talk to who aren't around anymore. Like literally, like this, the first episode is about Germany leading up to, the war and the Nazi party getting voted in and all that kind of stuff, and they literally just, it's like comes up and it's like Nazi businessman, and they're just asking these people, so what happened? It's just so fascinating because it's like you just can't ask people that stuff anymore because they're all gone. And it's just a little scary. We're just like, because there's this woman who says like, the problem was that every time he did something, you'd go, well, does that really affect me so much? And then it wasn't until he did something.
So he being Hitler.
Correct. Yeah. Every time they implemented some new policy, you'd go, well, it doesn't really affect me. And she said that the moment that she realized something, that things were wrong, was that their doctor who looked after their kids, who was Jewish, said, oh, you still want me to look after the kids? And she was like, why wouldn't I? And he said, well, I've been warned that if I touch any Aryan children, there will be consequences. And she was like, what? And then obviously it all went downhill from there. But she said,
there were signs before then. But
that's what this. It's like the frog in the pot, right?
Yeah.
It just was slow.
At what point do you know?
And then suddenly you're invading other countries and killing all the Jews, and it's just like, whoa, how the fuck did we get here? Yeah.
That's that's really interesting. So I recently rejoined the Rest is History club
to
get the bonus episode Whose Fault Was World War One. So they just did a 6-part series about what leads up to it, but then they were like, we're going to do one episode.
Not Gabriello Princept.
Well, I mean, they said Serbia kind of got off scot-free somehow. Like, the first shot of the war was a state-sponsored assassination, and yet nobody really talks about that. And they kind of talk about how it's not just that Germany lost the war, so they get blamed for it, but it's also because we know what happened later in the century that now we go, oh, they were always fucking like that. But actually, they weren't. They did everything they could to avoid conflict until they couldn't or felt they couldn't, and then... Yeah, interesting.
They took it too far.
Well, arguably. Did you watch All the Light We Cannot See? On Netflix?
No.
Watch it.
No. Oh. Yeah, I do know what that
World
is.
War
Yeah.
II, French Resistance.
Is it good, is it?
I watched first episode on a plane recently, and I was like, I'm going to watch this not on a plane.
Yeah, I saw that, and because when you said the name, I was like, wait, did I watch that? No, I didn't, but I saw the trailer, and it looked very good.
Mate,
cool.
watch All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, I should do that too, yeah.
Fuck. If just for the music. It's amazing.
War never changes.
Oh, yeah, well. People are playing a lot of Fallout fucking
New
London
Vegas?
or whatever it is at
Oh,
the
London.
moment. No, and Obsidian are teasing that they're planning something new as well, and they're like everyone's speculating, please be New Vegas 2.
Yeah.
I saw a video on YouTube the other day. I'll try and find it to link. It was about there's a YouTube channel that went under the radar for a long time. Obviously, I think it's gotten quite big now. But it was a guy who said, you know, when you're in playing New Vegas and you get to the New California Republic camp, down on the bottom, there's like a gate that you can't get past. This guy posted, they're just like 5-minute videos. And the first one was like, oh, I got past that gate. And in it, he like jumps up over and around the other side of the gate. And he's like, I'm going to go see what's on the other side, presumably nothing. But then as the videos go on, he does find stuff, and he gets these weird quests that are like not part of the game normally, and and there's like radio towers, and it's all very,
that's awesome.
like
I've seen some
creepy.
Skyrim stuff with that too. Like somebody's like, you guys aware that there's a fucking cave under this? Like, there's just stuff in Skyrim nobody's still found.
Yeah, no,
well, see,
like
this I don't think is real, but it's done very well, and where it's like it's very creepy. Where like he go,
Oh, that's awesome! Can you link me to that? I would like to watch
yeah.
this, especially if it's fiction. If this is like
it's fiction within
supposed
fiction,
to be a creepypasta.
It's like a mod this guy made, and then made YouTube videos. And, oh, guys, look what I found in New Vegas.
Oh shit, that's great. That's awesome.
It's pretty good.
But I do know that there is like some weird stuff. I know, like in Fallout 4, like you can use codes to go to another place that's not on the map, but it's got like all the weapons and stuff in there because it's just stuff that they use for testing.
Oh, right.
So the assets are still there,
but it's still there. And Luke, somehow you'd say that's not cheating because it's in the game, right?
Yes.
Clear.
Okay, yes, I got most of the achievements just by putting in a console command.
Have you seen there's a whole horror genre called like backrooms horror? You know what that is?
No.
It's like the idea is kind of like if you're
like the space behind
the
real
the
space.
world kind of thing. Yeah. So like you say you think you're living your life.
You're talking about liminal spaces?
Could be the similar thing. But I think they call it like backrooms.
Backroom horror.
Yeah, that's what I've seen it referred to as. But it's basically like, you think you're living your life, and then all of a sudden you open a door and there's just like a corridor, and you go and there's like one-way windows into like your bedroom and stuff, and it's like, what the fuck, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm reading a freaking great horror novel right now. It's called Leech, and it's set turn of the century, 20th century, so like that kind of time. It follows this physician who's gone to this Swiss like chateau to solve a murder of the previous physician, in-house physician, who has been killed. But you find out he's inhabited by this parasite who actually is narrating the story, and who used to be infesting that guy, but is curious how that host body got murdered, and so he's gone into another person to come and solve. But he's also, I've just found out, part of a hive mind of other fucking parasites all over the world, who also all inhabit doctors because they're studying human anatomy. Fucking awesome.
What is this book?
It's called Leech.
I don't know. I think this sounds a bit weird even for me.
Even for you. Who's it by? John Leach. It's written by the
John
parasite.
Leach.
It's
it's
right.
It's the true story.
So he got
By
murdered.
Hiron Ennis. So Hiron, Hiron, N-S-E-N-N.
Here in anus.
So he got
Here
murdered.
in anus.
Doesn't know
God,
if
it's a
he
hidden
killed you.
meaning.
He
Yeah.
got. Was he asleep when it happened?
I haven't gotten to the end yet. He's baffled. He thinks
He doesn't know how he died.
Spoilers, because Matt might pick this up. Well, he doesn't know how the fucking body he was infesting died, but he now thinks that there's a different species of parasite that is involved somehow too. But it's all like turn of the century doctory shit as well, and like it's awesome.
That's interesting.
Really enjoying it. I also, just while we're just throwing out stuff, I hate fiction podcasts, and I almost never listen to them.
Oh, sure.
But I found a really good one this week called The Left-Right Game. Do you guys know this?
Mm-mm.
So it's got a bunch of famous people doing the voices, including the girl who plays Valkyrie. She's the lead voice.
Oh, sure. From Veronica Mars. Is that who you mean?
I
From
don't know.
Thor Valkyrie, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thor Valkyrie. Yeah.
I can't think of her name.
But she...
Teresa
there's this
something?
like... Is it what?
Tessa Thompson.
She's also in Creed.
Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson, yeah, her. So there's this like game, like this urban legend that if you continue making left and right turns in your car, you go into a parallel universe. But that doesn't happen very often because most cities are built so that you can't just do that. You'll end up either at a dead end or back where you started. But if you can find, there's like 2 cities in America apparently where you can just continually make left-right turns, and then you slip into this parallel universe, and it's pretty cool. Like it was exciting, and there was bits where I was like quite moved. It's sometimes I miss things because there was like something happened in and then later on they'll mention something and I'll be like, oh, I missed the sound effect that was meant to tell me that had happened.
Yeah.
So it's got the limits of a podcast, but it's pretty good.
Speaking of books, that just popped into my head. Have you read Only Forward? Michael Marshall Smith, I think is the author's name. It's interesting. It's like a science fiction book, but it's odd. It's very creative.
Michael Marshall Smith.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice cover.
Jenna introduced me to it, but it's got interesting stuff in it. Like, for example, when you're in an aeroplane and you look down at the ocean, it looks solid. So if you were on the beach and you happened to be there at the time someone was looking out of a plane window, you can walk out
through solid.
Oh, well, yeah, it's solid, and it's got odd things like that. And then when I say that, it sounds very strange conceptually, but when within the context of the book, it's like you go, oh, that's
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool book.
But does that mean if
sweet.
I'm swimming in the water and then someone looks at it, I'm now trapped
Like
in
Jello.
the hard water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned this week. I found another podcast that I really like. It's called. I usually like plugging other podcasts on this podcast, but
No one does it for us. Why should we do it?
yeah, that's right.
That's not
But
true.
no,
Actually,
I'll
we've
chuck
done.
this guy.
We've had
Yeah.
some good.
This is called Fall of Civilizations, and it's an ancient history podcast, but it only talks about really big civilizations that don't exist anymore.
Oh, cool.
And the premise is that like if you were walking down the street the day before, you would have thought this is going to be here forever. Like, and you know how nothing lasts.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think the analogy is that like today, the countries that we think are big and powerful will not be like that in 1,000 years because history has proven that it won't be the case. Because like one little thing that,
like Tenochtitlan, for example, I'm sure those people were like, even when the fucking Spanish showed up, they're like, this is like fucking Rome. Destroyed it.
Yeah.
Just fucking destroyed it.
Just fucking burned it.
It's
to the
gone.
ground.
Right?
Exactly.
I wish I could see that. It's fucking gone.
Yeah. But there's also there's that late Bronze Age collapse, right? Where all the major powers in like Western civilization, Europe, so the like or Mediterranean, so Northern Africa, Europe, and Middle East, all of them disappeared in 50 years. In the span of 50 years, all the major powers, including the Egyptian kingdom, the one that's in what we call Israel now, and then what we call Greece now, gone. Don't know why.
Just
we
gone.
don't know why. Just gone. But this nothing fact that I just thought was really funny is that they thought, sorry, the Sumerians thought, because that was the one I listened to last night, the Sumerians thought that there was another ocean above the sky, and that sometimes the sky leaked, and that's why there's rain.
Genius.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. I love stuff.
There must
like
be
that.
another ocean up there.
Yeah.
That was just their fact.
How
you know?
How else are you going to explain it, Billy?
Taught in school.
People still believe that to this day.
Do they?
Yeah, they were, and worse.
Yes.
Returning to the old ways, Luke. That's what it is.
Sorry, did you just say "Make America Great Again," Matt?
I think we do need to do that. I think we need to. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Oh, things have
me in
been
charge.
interesting over here. I can tell you that. Things got interesting.
Yeah. It's gotten...
Yeah.
It was not
In the
interesting
space
for a long
of
time. It
about
was
2
depressing.
weeks.
And now it's fucking
Yeah.
very interesting.
I still don't know what's going to happen.
I called this out. I was like, when Donald Trump got shot at, I was like, he's won now.
He's
that
won.
picture's he's gonna win.
Yep.
But then
And then the fucking Democrats who've been asleep for years just went, hold my fucking drink.
But did you see? And he's not helping himself. Did you see the interview he did in Chicago at the
one where she went...
the black
Kamala
journalist
Harris
thing?
just become black or something?
I can't believe that interview. It's so bad. It's just so bad. He basically just says everything wrong. Like,
Right.
you should watch
I'm
clips
gonna
of
watch
it.
this.
You'll be like,
Yeah, he says
"Oh
something
my
like
God."
it, that she only came out as black a couple of years ago or
Yeah,
something.
I've
out
known
as black.
Kamala personally for
She's
so long.
mixed race. Just to be clear, she's
Indian.
mixed race.
Right? Yeah. 2 races in one person? I don't think so, Dan. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I've known her for a very long time, and she was always Indian. She was always Indian this, Indian that. Now suddenly she's black. And then you can tell this audience, this is the Black Journalist Society in Chicago.
Yeah.
And the audience is all like,
No!
yes.
What? So he thought he was like, I'm going to prove she's not one of you.
That's what, and then he kept saying, you know, we've got these people coming across the border, they're taking black jobs. And then the interviewer's like, what's a black job? And he goes, it's so bad.
They're going to be frying our chicken.
Yeah. He's like, just jobs, just normal jobs that people have. Just
regular jobs that
just any
anyone
job.
could have.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
It's so bad.
Yeah, so... Yeah, he's gone... Yeah, I really think he's gone from, like... He's no chance
the
of losing,
Biden now.
like he's won, to...
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
it's
now
just
the oldest
flipped.
one, and...
And yeah. Did he also say something like he said something like, just vote for me once more and you'll
Yes.
never have to vote again? I'm like, are you saying you're
I
going to crown
think-
yourself king? Is that what you're saying?
That's you could take it that way. I think the generous way of taking it is just that all he means is that, like, he can't run again.
Give him one more time.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
yeah, and he just doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care what happens after that.
Or
So he's
is
just
he
come out,
trying
vote for me this time, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Or is he trying to do the Putin thing?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It could be either, but the most likely seems to be that he
Yeah.
just doesn't give a shit after this. So
Yeah, so give me my second term and
Dare
I'm
I
done.
say it? Adolf Hitler.
Right. Yeah.
Democratically elected and
Yeah.
then was like, I'm
Loved.
just going to stay. Loved.
Yeah. Admired by
Still
other
loved
countries
by some
too.
people.
Other countries
Something
were
like-
like, "Oh, Germany's doing great. That guy's great."
Let's try to be more
And that's
like
why when he
Germany.
started
Yeah.
getting up to stuff, they were like, "Oh, he's doing a good job though." And then it was like,
love-
"He's doing what?"
I'd love
now?"
to write
Well,
an academic dissertation or at least a video essay or something on, like, at what point could Hitler have stopped
and no one would have done anything.
and it would have been okay.
Well, that was the problem.
Because he annexed fucking
They just march into the Rhineland, take it back. No one says anything. Czechoslovakia.
Did a whole bunch of
Wanders in. No one says anything. He's like, okay, let's keep going.
yeah.
Austria, they
Okay.
fucking cheer
Yeah.
and welcome him.
Yeah.
All right.
And it wasn't until Poland.
Yeah.
And then it was like, Britain was like, should we get involved?
Yeah.
Like, if he just stopped there,
Yeah. Yeah.
got greedy. That's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
The only moral takeaway of that story.
That's it.
Yeah. What else have we got here? We've got some.
We've got some The Rock news.
I'm just reading this now. So
We like The Rock. Speaking of war,
I've got off the rock a bit.
have you?
Oh, okay.
I really
Before
have.
we talk about the news, I'd like to hear why Luke has
Yeah.
gone off the rock a
What
bit.
has he done?
Well, I think he's gone too far. like to be about how great he thinks he is.
Okay.
He seemed a bit more down to earth and stuff and fun at the very start of when he moved over from wrestler to acting, but then he's sort of working on his business and he's great at everything, and then it's all about him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Honestly,
I don't like that.
I haven't heard anything about him lately, to be honest. This is the first The Rock
That's
news
kind of
I've
the
heard in a
problem.
long time.
Yeah, well, he was commissioned by the U.S. military to the tune of something like $5 million. $5 million for five. Oh no, they've asked for $5 million back.
Yeah,
And-
back.
11
No, they
million.
paid him 11.
They paid him 11. Okay, so it was he got a whole chunk of
They
change.
want a
and
refund.
he was supposed to post pro military like Instagram posts or tweets or something for that money.
Okay.
He posted one straight away that said, "Hey guys, I've just been sponsored by the US military. Expect some posts." And then nothing.
Huh.
And now they're like, "We've not gotten not one single recruitment that we can attribute to you. Give us the money back."
Interesting.
Yeah, because all I see him sort of posting about is like his XFL and his tequila, and it's all about.
Have you drank that tequila, Matt? Have you had his tequila?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you drink tequila straight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I drink it with other stuff too. I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I want to,
No, I
when I want to taste it,
disgusting.
to see what it tastes
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
I never want to taste it. I never
I'm
want to taste
never,
tequila.
ever going to taste
I
tequila.
don't think there's
ever
any
again.
booze that I'm like down on. I think I like all of them to a degree. I'll give them a go. Even
Yep.
a lot of people don't like mezcal. It's too smoky. I love that stuff.
No, I don't know that one.
Mezcal's like kind of like tequila, same family.
But if it's smoky, I probably don't like it. Because actually,
it's very
I don't like
smoky.
expensive whiskies because they're smoky.
Really? You
Yeah,
don't
I
like
like
Talisker
cheap blended
or-
shit. No, I don't.
Oh, I fucking
I would
love
prefer-
Talisker.
Like the smokiest I could go is like a Glenmorangie.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, but beyond that, like I feel like I'm just drinking an ashtray.
I'm just going to stick with my goon gin.
Goon gin.
Your goon gin, yeah, gin in a box.
So they said it's a
But
shame
yeah.
he was pulled away before he had a chance to post any more stuff, apparently. That's pretty wild, though.
They're being very generous though, saying, "Oh, I guess he just
Yeah.
got too busy.
He just didn't do it.
He just didn't fucking do it."
Like, how can you be paid $11 million and go, oh, I forgot? Like,
To tweet.
that means that it's sort of showing his disconnect from the world when.
I don't know
paid
that they
and
mention
you
it in here, but did he get a bad feedback from his fans on the posts? That's possible too, right? Like if he was posting,
maybe.
if he posted
And
the
he
first
was like,
couple,
I gotta
and they
do
were
it.
like, "Fuck war," you know, whatever.
Yeah, what,
like,
you sell out?
like
I mean, it does seem like a bit of a sellout.
the
Move.
impression
he is-
I get from him is that he wouldn't be okay with that. He'd be like, "No, my fans don't like it. I'm not doing it."
But that's
Yeah,
that's
so here's your money back.
Yeah,
But that's the other thing is why I think I don't like him. He is a sellout. Like he is. You offer him anything and he'll say yes. Essentially,
Nobody's not a sellout. Anyone who
Everybody
has
comes
a sellout.
across as not as sellout has just had a really good PR.
yeah.
everybody has a price.
I'm all set for us to sell out.
Yeah,
we just don't have the
I'll do
option
anything
yet.
for
giving us
11
any
million.
money. Yeah,
No one's offered us
$11
anything
million
worth
I'd
selling
do
out
pretty
for.
much anything for. That's true. I'd let Neil Gaiman finger me for $11 million.
Would you?
Yeah. 100%. For
you're
$11
listening,
million,
Neil.
if
The
you guys were
low
like,
price.
I'd let you watch for that $11 million.
What do I get?
I wouldn't even.
Let me watch. Pay me to watch, man.
No, but I mean, like some things you'd be like, just never tell anyone. For $11 million, you can tell anyone you fucking want. Like, I'll be like, look at my $11 million. Like,
Do you want me to sign an NDA? No. Don't care. Don't give a shit.
Just give me the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some Neil Gaiman news. Well, not really. We don't.
No, we do.
don't.
That could be the after party because that's what we talked
Oh,
about
for
last
sure.
time.
Definitely after party.
We've got
So
some-
we do have a geek of the week for the after party.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, a secret geek of the week.
I don't know who it is.
I didn't want to put it in because I didn't want. I thought in case you guys put something in.
That's
and-
not what Neil Gaiman said.
That's what Neil Gaiman said. I didn't want to put it in case somebody else was putting it in.
I didn't want to put it in, but I felt I had to.
I mean, you worked for me.
Yeah,
And that's kind of my thing.
I felt obliged to. That set a precedent. We've got some Princess Leia.
It's his thing, and you
news.
can't call him on it.
Yeah.
Okay, we just lost some listeners, Star Wars, but we could probably gain some new ones.
I find these. Yeah, we do have some Star Wars, Princess Leia news. I find these things weird.
Go on.
These gold
We haven't said what the
bikinis.
thing is yet.
You find gold bikinis weird?
Leia's gold bikini went up for auction.
Nothing weird about it,
sold
mate.
for 175,000 USD,
Yep, that's
which is 250,000 Aussie dollars.
I don't know. Just why? Why is it worth that
Interestingly, the gold
somebody will pay
bikini sold for 175,000. A miniature aircraft used in A New Hope fetched 1.6 million. I mean,
This is the one where he went like this.
could be, but it just seems. I don't know. It's interesting. I would have thought,
Wasn't
given
even
that,
Back
the
when he
gold
was going to
bikini-
join the Empire, and then no one mentioned it again, that he was like, I don't want to join the,
No.
the Imperial
It wasn't the
Academy.
miniature. Wasn't like an X-wing or something. It was a Y-wing.
But yeah, I'm just surprised that the gold bikini didn't go for more. To be honest, it's
It is, yes, but no, it's
Because maybe it still smells like Carrie Fisher, is what you're saying.
because when I was a kid, the gold bikini was
That's
pretty
what you would have
interesting.
taken.
It was pretty interesting.
I'll be honest. As a middle-aged man, I look back at Carrie Fisher and I think, yes, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. As a kid, I never saw her like that. Not even in this bikini. I just never thought of it like that.
She was
Yeah.
just cool.
She was wonderful. I fucking was in love with her, but I didn't want to touch her. Didn't want to kneel game.
You could tell. You've seen those behind-the-scenes photos of her with her stunt double in the two bikinis.
Yeah, see, I've seen those now. If
Yeah.
I'd seen them as a kid, maybe I would have changed my tune. But
Yeah,
in the film, I was just like, I can't believe Jabba makes her wear that. What a prick.
yeah,
Hope somebody strangles him to death.
with his own chain.
Yeah.
Mercilicious Crumb watches.
There's a bit in Empire where, and it's a great character moment, but apparently it's improvised, where Lando kisses her hand and then he just keeps holding it. And then all it says in the script is Lando kisses her hand. But Billy D. Williams just kept holding her hand through the scene. But then then fucking Harrison Ford steps in between them and takes the hand away and he holds it. And
that's great.
And she, watch it again, her look, because when he holds it, her look is not Princess Leia, it's Carrie Fisher going, oh, hello. And then when fucking Harrison Ford comes in, she looks at him like, oh, okay, I like this. Like,
That's cool.
really funny.
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to watch Empire.
I mean, 175,000 is still a lot of money.
Maybe.
And then I guess what are you going to do with it?
I'd wear it.
What do you
Ask
mean? What are
him.
you going to do
Yeah.
with it?
Well, that's the thing. You're not going to do anything. Like, you would hang it up and display it. That's
Hang it
What would you
off
want?
my erection.
Either from Star Wars or from any other memorabilia or historical person. What would you want? What would you pay $175,000 for if you had it?
Sorry, from Star Wars or for anything?
No, anything. It
Anything.
doesn't have to be a movie. Like, you could say Napoleon's hat.
Just anything.
What collectible do you think would be worth like any amount of money? You just have to have it.
I can't think of anything that I think is actually worth a collectible worth that much. Unless we're talking about a
know.
car.
I don't know.
Because a car would
Oh,
be
some
worth,
cars I'd like. Some film cars I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
that's probably
fair.
would be worth more than 175,000.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Bond's DB4 or something. That'd be alright.
Yeah.
Even fucking if somebody said that 89 Batmobile's up for sale, I'd
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
what are they asking for it?
Yeah. Yeah, Bond DB4 or something like that. That'd be alright. Yeah, I'd go that. DB4,
If you're paying
DB5,
175,000 for it, you
Any
can
of
take it
them.
for a steal.
any of the Bond
Yeah.
mobiles.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to buy yeah.
Yeah, the non-movie one for that price.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
All right. I think it's time that we maybe head over to the after party.
What's the
Yeah.
after party, Luke?
That's where we'll continue to talk for another 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour sometimes. To be able to do that, though, you will need to cough up a little bit of money. You need to go to patreon.com/multiple-nerdgasm, and for as little as $1 a month, you get a show early. But for $5 a month, that's where you get the after party, where you can listen to us talk for a little bit longer.
Or a lot longer sometimes.
It's just occurred to me. We had the conversation about why you're dressed like that before we started recording. So we just haven't mentioned it. The listeners just think.
Well.
If you're just tuning in, we did ask him why.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.